Hello guys, it's Peter from PS Sound, and this is now part 2 of this Mercedes build. I thought to take a few short videos just to give you an update what's going on here. And well, all the wires are pulled into the car now. It wasn't the easiest ride, as yeah, the amount of wiring in that car is just absolute madness. The whole floor is covered in plastic boxes, covering the wiring 2 inches high all the way on the floor. Yeah, it was tricky, but it's all in now. I may show you a video right at the very end of this video, because I had a teaser video for Facebook, so you will have an idea about what was going on in there. But for now, so I'm doing the A-pillars, and I'm doing it in a very different way. It's similar to my puzzle style in a way, but the main reason why I wasn't just simply stretching fabric over the rings is that the drivers, the Audible Physics RG100 wideband drivers, are so big, well, especially the magnet, depth and width wise, that if you stretched fabric over the rings, the fabric would shrink, and then it wouldn't give you enough width and space inside. The cavity wouldn't be big enough, which is important for the airspace as well, of course. So what I did is that, as you see, try to turn it for you, I built it up from little pieces of wood and try to make it roughly to the shape as I want. So then inside you see it should give enough depth and width for the magnet. So what I'm doing with this is that I taped it inside, and the reason was that once I used the fiber filler, you can see it filled the gaps fairly well inside there between the joints. I left a gap between the wooden bits for a reason, so then the fiber filler can go in and fill it. And then I also drilled the plastic all around, so you get a better bond to the trim piece. So once it's done now outside, I'm gonna do my milkshake trick inside, fill it completely, and then that will give a fantastic bond. Once it's all done, I'm gonna cut that plastic bit out, the remaining plastic inside, so it doesn't restrict the airflow of the driver, because it will be able to breathe down into the under the dash area at the side. And then with the tweeter part, I stretch fabric over. It looks really rough now. It's far from the final shape, but you get an idea about what's going to happen there. So yeah, this is about the A-pillars now. They should be very, very solid, which is crucial. Well, every single time, but especially with these drivers, because they are going to play low. They should have a solid response from 150. The Octavia, where I use these drivers, you may remember. If not, then please check out my old videos. There's a video called something like RG100 widebands in Skoda Octavia, whatever, wooden dashboards. Over there you will see that I built sealed enclosures for the drivers, and they had response from 120 Hz and solid linear response from 150, which is great, because everything is up high level. And in this case, as you may remember from my previous introduction video, as the 8-inch drivers in the firewall, don't suspect they would have a great response above 200 Hz. That's another reason why these drivers up on the pillar have to play solidly all the way down. So yeah, that's it for now, and then hopefully in a few seconds I can show you what they look like once they are close to finished state. Well, I thought that I would only show it right at the end when the pillars are done, but I thought, just a quick half a minute to show you what it's like after six and a half hours of bonding it together sanding, I also had to create this shape at the top, cut the pillar out and then filled it up. Now it's cut out in the inside as well, filled with the milkshake, so you can see there's plenty of breathing space for the driver over there. So after this I have to use fine filler to fill all the tiny holes and then give the final shape to the pillar. But overall I'm pretty happy with it so far. So yeah, next stage should be the finalized product. Here we are. Yay. They are pretty much done. Drivers were fitted, tested. I had to chisel a little bit inside, but other than that, they are done. So this is driver's side, well, in UK. Enough airspace for breathing. And then that's passenger side. As you see, I'm using threaded inserts so you don't damage the wood with wood screws. If you take the speaker in and out a few times, you use machine bolts and then, you know, you can take it in and out as many times as you want. The tweeters will be push fit, even if the tweeters come with fixing rings, but because of the nature of the builds, it would be very difficult to put the ring behind the tweeter. In that case, the whole build should have had to be way bigger to allow enough space for the ring inside. Or alternatively, you could fiberglass the ring, the steel ring, into the build. But then, yeah, once you want to sell the speaker or do anything with it, that ring is gone. It's part of the build, or you have to cut it out. But overall, I'm happy with them. They are solid. Nearly half an inch thick all around. Yeah, it should do the job. But yeah, it's not the easiest thing to fit these. Audible Physics RG100. As you see, the magnet is an absolute monster. Some people commented that, these 4-inch drivers look like a mini sub with this magnet, but that wasn't the reason why they needed this magnet. This is, if you have a decent box designed for it, and especially let's say you use it as a desktop driver in a ported box, you will be very surprised what this driver can play very low and all the way up to the Audible range. I've been asked, why I'm using the tweeters once I have these wideband speakers, because they play the high frequency range really well. But I always say that it's one thing, to imagine an ideal scenario where you have no reflections, you can keep everything on axis, and then you have the right components, amplifier, source and everything to get the absolute, finest top end out of a wideband. And it's not impossible, it's doable. I've done it, and it's good. But when it comes to the ultimate experience and you know, the absolute no compromise, then I always say that why wouldn't you put a tweeter in? Yes, you may not use it for much, only for the very fine top ends above 10-12k, but it's one thing to, you know, get the right response with the widebands and see that beautiful curve on the RTA that everyone is chasing. You can get pretty much any driver to get the targeted frequency response, but it's a whole different story when it comes to tonality. That driver can play up to 16-18k without any problem. This driver can play up to that as well. Well, this has extension up to 40k. But what I'm saying is that, you know, this playing the range above 10k and that playing the range above 10k is different. Only your ears can judge it, and on paper they may look the same. I mean, on the RTA, but a tweeter is always more refined than a wideband that has to play, you know, pretty much the whole range from down 100-150 hertz all the way up, whereas this only has to deal with the very fine top end. Also, because we can't keep the widebands quite on axis in the car, in the driving position where you have the listening position, you would lose the top end a little bit. Some people don't need that, some people do, and then once you have a setup like this, then, you know, let's say you go ahead tweeterless, and then you would say, oh, how would it be if? And then you would always have that if. So that's the reason why I'm adding the tweeters right now, because then we cover everything, all the situations, and we will see what happens. And of course, there's a reason why this RG50 was also designed, not necessarily to complement the RG100, because this can be used in two-way configuration as well with the 6.5 inch. But yeah, the combination of these two should be, yeah, very, very tasty. So yeah, this is it for now, guys. I hope you like what you've seen. Please check out the description. I always add my Facebook page links. You can see more pictures on Facebook because it just takes me less time to upload pictures, whereas now when I'm busy, you know, to edit these videos is way more time consuming. So yeah, check out the Facebook page, and stay tuned because there's a lot more coming. Speak soon.